Well, hello, sweethearts. Welcome to another tutorial. It's been a while. So, today's tutorial, we're going to be making this lovely bag that you see. I made it for a customer of mine. So, let's get to it. So, you're going to need a 0.6 thread. That is what I used, and then this square beads. If you have a 0.7, that's fine. And then we'll use this round colored beads I just found in a bead store to make the handle. So without much being said, let's get to it. So remember to cut your thread as long as you can handle. If it's too long, tangles up. If it's too short, you have to be joining. Now we're going to start with 4 beads, okay? So this is a new technique I learned, and I realized it makes your work firmer. So pay attention to this part very well. So what we're trying to do is create a loop. So on the last bead, like this, you pass your thread back into the same bead like this, okay, and then hold it, pull it a bit to make a loop. Sorry, I didn't realize I had raised it that high. So this is the loop, and then you're going to pass the other side of the thread through that loop you just made, and then you pull to lock it, like make a knot. See? Okay, so this is what you do. So once you pull and then the knot is made, sorry, once the knot is made, if you leave your work, the beads don't move around like the other technique we usually use. See, it's as stable and as firm as it is, even though I'm using a 0.6 thread. So you might not have gotten it the first time, but you get it again when I do it the next one. So right now we assume we have 1 bead already, so we're going to continue with 3. So this is 2, and then this is the third one, right? This way. Now you're going to make your loop like this, same bead like the third one alone, and then you pass your other thread through the loop you've just made, and then pull the loop to make a knot like this. Okay, and don't forget, this is the 4 bead flower process we're using again. So this is the second one. Now the third one, still same process, okay? Send your 2 in, and then in your last bead you make your loop like this. Send the thread back into the last bead, and then pass the other side of the thread through the loop you just made, and then pull, okay, this way. There. Once you pull and your knot is made and you leave it, your beads don't shake, they don't move around, it's very firm. So we're going to make 4 of them. So this is the 4th one. 3. Now what I want you to keep in mind about 4 bead flower processes, once you start with 4 and then you're trying to make a circle, when you are ending, you're going to end with 2, okay? You start with 4, continue with 3 3, and then you end with 2. So it's like in the middle you reduce 1, at the end you reduce 1. So this is what we get. So the middle, sorry, not middle, the other thread, the one you're not using to make the loop, the one closest to your work, you pass it through the closest bead to it, up like this. Sorry, I actually thought my camera was closer than this. So you pass it up like this, see, and then you use only 2 beads to make your loop in the last one. This way, and then you pass your other side of the thread through the loop, pull and make a knot, and your work is firm. So we've just gotten our first circle, sorry, or shall I say our base for the bag. So this is it. As you see, if I leave the thread, it doesn't move around, very firm. If we weren't using this process, we all know working with these beads, it's not going to be stable. But because we're using this new technique, our work is as stable as C. So your next row, you're going to start with 4 beads. 2, 3 and 4. Now we're hoping to make a circle of 5, and we already have 1 bead the thread is connecting to. So once we do this, as usual, continue with the loops. Now once we make our loop and we pull, we get a circle of 5 beads. See? Now the other thread that is not creating the loop, pass it to the nearest bead closest to it, like this, making sure that it's firm. Now we started with 4, which means then next we're going to be continuing with 3, right? That's the 4 bead flower process. You always reduce 1 from the starting point. So this is 3 beads. In our third bead, we'll make our loop like this, and then pass the other thread through the loop, pull to lock it. Okay, so it's locked like that. So we're just going to continue that process until it cuts across again. Remember, this bag is in a circle form, so we're just going to be doing everything in a circle form. Okay, so passing the thread through the next bead closest to it, like this, and then of course the other bead that we used to make the loop, we'll continue with our 3 beads. So 1, 2 and 3. In the third bead, we'll make our loop. So always remember, in your last bead you make a loop, pass the other thread through the loop and lock it. So I'm going to continue like that until I get to the end. Also, I'm sorry it's been a while I made a video. I'll try to be consistent. Right now I didn't have lights at my new station, so it was hard, but now I do have lights, so hopefully I'll be able to upload more tutorials. And if there is a tutorial you want me to make, let me know. And of course, I haven't forgotten about your demand for a love shape bag. Still working on making it, trying to find the right beads to use. So let me know what you need a tutorial on, and then I definitely will do it. And also, thank you all so much for the subscription and for watching, the comments, the likes, all of it. I appreciate that a lot. Thank you. So now we'll get into the end. Remember, once we get to the end, the closing part, since we are working with 3 beads, we'll be closing with 2. If we were working with 2, we'll be closing with 1, but we're working with 3, that means we'll be closing with 2. Now this is our ending. So we're going to pass the thread through the closest bead upwards. Sorry, I really thought my camera was closer than this. It looks like I still haven't gotten the hang of it yet, but I'm getting there, promise. So this is the closing part. We need 2 beads instead of 3 to close it. And there, the second row has ended. Now the second row, we started with 4 and continued with 3. Now these are the key points I want you to note down. That's the second row, how we started the second row. 4, continued with 3 and ended with 2. Now the third row, we're going to start with 3, continue with 2 2, and end with 1. Now my thread is short, so I'm going to cut off what is there and then join another one. Now this is me trying to send my knot down, so I'm passing the threads through a couple of beads to the middle where a knot won't worry me much. Okay, that is where I want my knot hidden. That way I won't have trouble passing a thread through the beads. So I made my knot. As you can see, I'm going to pass the thread through another bead to pull, just so the knot will be hidden in between those beads. Okay, sorry. So now I've pulled and my knot is hidden. I'll cut off the excess thread. Joining a thread actually is the easiest thing to do once you are not using a needle. Okay, you just pick a starting point and then just put your thread through the bead. So since it's a circle, it doesn't really matter where you start. So just pick a bead and then just put your thread through it, and then you're going to get it this way. Now the thread closest to the bead, you don't put any bead into it. Now the one outside or at the top of the beading you've made is what you use. Now we start with 3 beads, okay, making our knot in the third one and then locking our knot, sorry, with the other bead, no, sorry, other thread rather. So this way. So the second lane we started with 4, now we're starting with 3. Now once you start with 3, you'll be continuing with 2 2 2 2 instead of 3 3 3. Okay, so 2 1 2, then we'll make a loop in the second one like this, pass our thread through the loop like this, and then pull the loop to make a knot like that. Maybe I should just keep quiet and let you go watch. Seriously, voiceover is the hardest thing to do. But I feel like I need to say certain things to help. I don't know. But this is hard, really hard. And my place is really noisy, so I can't make the voice recording whilst I'm making the video. It's really noisy, you really won't hear anything. That is why I have to do voiceovers instead. Okay, this is it. I think I'll just have to learn voiceover and just because of you. So we'll do that off camera just to make our video short. Okay, so I went ahead and did the whole thing off camera, so now we'll just at the end. So I'm going to show you how we end the third row. So anyone that knows how I can actually get the camera to actually record every angle that I want, kindly let me know in the comment section. It said landscape. I'm trying it. I'm using landscape recording right now, and still our video isn't that good. But okay, so this is the ending part. Since we've been working with 2 2, now we're going to add only 1. See, so just 1 like this, make our loop in the same bead. That's if your thread is long. Make your loop in the same bead like this, and then pass the other thread through it to make a knot. Or you could just tie your thread and then continue, whichever you're okay with. Now we're going to repeat the same process we used for the second row. So start with 4 like this. So it's just a repetition actually. After the base, you're going to start with 4, continue with 3 3, end with 2, and then the third row is starting with 3, and then the fourth row starting with 4 like that, and continuing with 3 3. So it's just practically a repetition. What you did in the previous row is what you repeat in the second. I don't know if it makes sense. So this is the same thing we did on the second row, right? So you start with 4, continue with 3 3 3 until the end, right? And then on the third row, what we did is what we'll be doing in the fifth row. See? So once again, I'm going to go and do that off camera, just so our video doesn't run into hours. Okay, so continue with your 3 3 3, making your loop, locking your loop, and continuing just that. Okay, so locking your loop, do that, get here, and then we'll continue. Okay, so yes, went ahead and did that off camera again. So this is the ending part. So instead of continuing with 3 3 like we did the rest, this is the ending part. So we're only going to need 2 to end it. I thought this was really going to be a beginner friendly video, but from the look of it, it's not really beginner friendly. But I'll try and make another one that is more beginner friendly, because this one I feel like only those of us who have been beading for a while can do it. So this is how it ends. See? Now, sorry. On the first row, sorry, the one that you start with 4, it's more like a circle, so you always have holes in it. And then the one that you start with 3 like this, it's practically sealed. There's no hole in between the bead done. This. So again, start with 3, continuing with 2, and this should be our last row. That's if you're doing the same size that I did. But if you're making a bigger size, this shouldn't be your last row. You should continue. Just remember to interchange the pattern. So once you're doing the 4 2 2 right now, no, sorry, 3 2 2 right now, the next row should be the 4 3 3. Just interchanging the pattern. That makes it straight and not curvy. I will actually do a video tomorrow showing you the patterns I use in the 4-bead flower process. A detailed pattern, I mean, because almost all the videos that we've made, we use that process, the 4-bead flower process. So to make things easier for us, I'll make a pattern, a detailed pattern video, just so that when I say a 4-bead flower process, we will all be familiar with it, and then we'll be able to actually do it well. What do you think? Let me know in the comment section. You all have been so wonderful, I know, with your comments and your likes and your subscription, and I am so grateful for that. So I went ahead and did the rest of the beading off camera, so we'll just close it from here. If you haven't subscribed yet, please remember to do that and leave a comment. Let me know what you think about the video, what I should have done that I didn't do, and any suggestions that you have are welcomed. Yeah, thank you. I really do appreciate you watching. So I actually made this bag in two sizes, a smaller one and a big one, because it was for a mother and daughter, and I loved the outcome of it. I hope you're able to do the same thing. If you're able to make one, I hope you have you like the outcome. You have the outcome you're looking for, because I did like my outcome, not the outcome of the video though, because so we ended our last row. Like I said, once you ending, since we've been working with 2 once you ending, you end with 1. So this is our last row, so we're going to end with 1. So instead of making a loop and making a knot, you could just tie it, since this is your last, see, like this. Since this is your last row, it doesn't really matter though. Now I've tied it, I need to hide the knot that is made, so I'm going to pass this thread down like this, and then I'm going to pull. Once I pull, the knot is hidden in between beads, and then I can cut off my excess thread. Okay, so I'm going to go cut off my excess thread, and then we'll continue from there. So here we are. Now we'll have to work on this side. So cut your thread as long as you can handle. If it's short, you'll be draining. If it's too long, it will tangle up. So since it's a circle, it doesn't matter where you start, but at this point it matters where you end. So pay attention. Again, we're going to continue with, start with 3 and continue with 2. So the thread, you've kept it in the bead. One is closer to the work, one is outside the work. Now the one outside the work, that is where you put your beads. Make a loop in your last bead. Pick the other side of the thread like this, pass it through your loop, and then pull. Then you get this, right? So it's practically the same process. Add 2 in your last bead, make a loop, pass the other thread through the loop, and then pull. So you're going to make it so you get to where you want your other end to be, because this will be the opening, so you can go all around. Okay, so I left about 11 beads for the opening. Oh, I really didn't realize this is how it was recorded. I'm so sorry. Okay, so yes, like I was saying, you don't actually have to pick a specific spot to start, but you need a specific spot to end at. Okay, so I want my opening to be about 11 beads in, so this is where my 11 beads will end. So I'm going to work up until that. Okay, so I went ahead and did that. See, oh, oh, oh. Sorry about that. Okay, so this is my ending for it. Now you need two of these. Okay, one has to go around two. So as we have gone around like this for the opening of this base, as I've just gone around like this, you need to go around again, like the same process round. You see how we did our blue bag? Yeah, just like that. So you go around it again. So one side has to be that way. It depends on how wide you want your bag to be actually. Now this is my opening of 11 beads. Okay, I went ahead and did the other part off camera. So this is what I mean. You see this one has two of those, and then this one has one. Now you're going to do that and join the two together. But remember, you only do that if you want your bag to be wide. So you can just do it one like this, one on the side like this one we've just made, and then the other one to the same, and join them. But I want this bag wider because that's what my customer wanted. So I did the other side double step and then did one for this one. So we're just going to join both of them together and get it back. Once again, I'm sorry about my camera. So I actually thought at this point I was showing my work close to the camera, not knowing I wasn't actually showing it at all, which is, so anytime I raised it like that, I thought I was showing it directly to the camera. So now we'll try to join them together, and like the blue bag, same process. So cut your thread where you think will actually reach around the circumference. Is that the right thing to say since the circle is not complete? Oh, okay, yeah, whatever. So yes, start with one bead like this. Now one part of the thread goes through the other work, and the other part of the thread goes through the other work like this. So once you pull, it is joined with that bead being the beginning of it. So now you're going to use another bead. Initially we will have crisscrossed these threads, but now we're just making the loops. Oh, I'm sorry. So now we're just making the loops and just pulling the knots to join like this. Okay, you know, initially we'll have just passed one thread of the side of the thread through the bead and pass the other through the bead, but then now we're just making the loops instead of just crisscrossing. We're making loops to keep our work locked in. Oh, I'm sorry. I really am sorry about this video. So I just go ahead and do the rest of camera. Like I said, anytime I raised it like this, I thought I was actually showing it close to the camera, but turns out I'm not videoing at all. There. Oh, this is really bad. So you can use the blue bag as a reference since that one was much clearer. So this is the same process from the blue bag you're going to use to join this one. Okay. Yes, and the crisscross process still works fine. I just realized this style makes it more firm, but yeah, the crisscross still works same way. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the rest of camera like this. So I went ahead and did the rest of camera. Now I'm just going to do the small that are left, I think about 3. So like this, and this. See, once you pull your knots, it's locked and then your work is firm. Yes, so this is the end of it. This is the end of the joining actually. So just that, and then it's joined completely. Now I just need to make a knot hiding my knot, cutting off my excess thread. But yes, this is how it's supposed to look like at the end. That's way. So I'm just going to pass my thread down the work a little bit and then make my knot to hide my hide my thread in between beads, cut off my excess thread. I think I'll just keep quiet. So this is it, and we're done. Now we'll have to make the handle. Now I could have just kept the handle at the sides, but I didn't want it that way. I wanted them this way, so I went ahead and did one off camera. I'll show you how I did it. So I want it to be able to hold this way, so it keeps the opening close. So I'll just keep quiet and show you how I did it. I seriously don't know how to what to say here. So I'm just trying to get the base of my handle firm. That's why I didn't start making the handle at where I inserted the thread, I'll go as far as starting it from the other side, just so I'll make it firm to hold. So the beads that I use for the handle are really small, but they don't fit in between the square beads, so I use one seed bead before I started using the round shaped beads. I actually don't know the name of these beads. I just found them at the bead store and they look really cute. They are not pearls, but they look like pearls. So I used 22 for each handle. They are really small. I think that's a size 10, but they are not pearls. And I didn't select the colors, I just picked random ones. Just started fixing in a pearl, sorry, not pearl, in a bead that I could touch. I just was making sure that two colors weren't following the same row. And that is practically it. But then I needed to make sure that my bag wasn't seen through. So once you're done, you have to put a gift bag in it. Now gift bags are bags you can actually find in bead stores, but I actually have a sewing machine, so I just sew my own gift bag in a white color and then just kept it in. So I'm ending it again with a seed bead just to make it firm. Oh no, so this is where I started with the joining of the thread, and that is where I'm going to end it. Also, you have to remember that you have to pull very hard to make sure it's very firm. That way your handle is very firm and strong, it's not loosened and shaken. Okay, so I passed it through a couple of beads before I made my knot, pulling so hard to make sure that my handle is firm. Yes, so I went ahead and then cut off my excess thread, and then this is what I have. Always remember to hide your knots in between beads. Make sure your knot is not showing. It makes whatever work you're doing very beautiful. Yes, so that's basically it. Cutting off my excess thread, and that is it. So you have a gift bag, you insert your gift bag, but like I said, I sew my own bag and then I inserted it in it. So thank you so much for watching, guys. I appreciate it. See you in our next tutorial.